everybody, it's Amanda from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk, and today I'm going to make a lovely project using the varied vases. Oops, no. I love it when Stampin' Up do a stamp set that coordinates with a punch. It's simpler, it's often cheaper than the die sets. I love my die sets. The punches and stamp sets are generally that little bit more budget friendly, and I'll just love the convenience. You know, sometimes you've got to get your big shot out if you've not got a big craft room, whereas the punches, I just grab them off my shelf and I'm good to go. I love them. They are on offer as a bundle. And today I'm using, I've broken into my new pack of cards. This is the Subtles. We have a lovely range of colour. So you can buy them in packs, selection packs that have got a variety of colours in them. So this is the Subtles one. So, you know, we've had a bit of a colour revamp, a bit of a shake up. So I'm buying them a bit at a time, and I'm buying these selection packs rather than a full pack of one colour. That way I feel that I get more use out of it. So the colours in here are, let me see if I can get this right, Calypso Coral, that's Highland Heather, Pear Pizzazz, Mint Macaron, I think that one is Balmy Blue, that one is Pool Party, Sir Saffron, Petal Pink, Blushing Bride and Soft Seafoam. I think I've got those right. If I haven't, I'm more than sure somebody will tell me, Mandy, you've got that all wrong, you nana. And I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. So I'm using Mint Macaron, and I've cut my cardstock to 8 1/4 by 4 1/2. I'll leave all the measurements on my blog. And we're going to score first of all at 3/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to do my 3/4 of an inch scoring on this side of the track because it's just easy for me to see what I'm doing. Okay, or you can use the 3/4 at that side. So we're scoring at 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it round, and then we're going to score it at 3 3/4, which is there. So basically you've got a 3/4 of an inch score on each side is all you're doing really. So these are equal, and they both measure 3/4 of an inch. So then on the long side we're going to score at I've forgotten, 3/4 of an inch again. Sorry, I had a bit of a mind blank then. 3/4 of it will be because that's the flap. 3/4 of an inch, 3 3/4. There we go. 4 1/2 and 7 1/2. I've done this kind of box before, you'll have seen them, they're pretty common. It's like a pizza style box, it's not difficult for anybody to do. It's always nice to come and do projects that I feel that ladies can, you know, easily accomplish themselves, rather than show some big fancy project that's got everybody tied up in knots. So I'm just going to fold and burnish all of those score lines. Okay. So basically it's a box with a lid in it. I'll all just fold in. So what we want to do now is we just want to snip each one of the little squares because they will fold in to make the tabs for our box. So I'm cutting up there, and then I'm just going to notch slightly, and I'm going to notch ever so slightly on all of them. How I like to do it. So cut up each tab, and then, oh, that's not straight. Do that again. And then just take a sliver of a cat's whisker, a fairy's touch, thinner than a blade of grass notch out of those flaps. Okay, just very, very slight. That one just wants to be a little bit more slight. That one's a little bit, there we go. Okay, and then I'll do it in the other way. Okay. And there we go. And this stamp set was designed by an American demonstrator who you may well have heard of, called Mary Fish. When demonstrators reach £1 million sales or £2 million sales, they get to design a stamp set. and this is Mary's. And there's been some awesome, if you look on Pinterest, there's some beautiful samples being made. It's a very popular set, again, because it does come with the punch. So there we go. So now what we need to do is we need to turn that over, and we need to fold in all of those tabs. And we're going to put adhesive on them all. I'm using Tombow today. I'm trying to make friends with Tombow. The reason I don't use it an awful lot is because I'm quite heavy-handed with glue. And, yeah, that's the reason why. So I'm dotting it to try and not be heavy-handed. Okay, it does come out quite quickly. It's a brand new bottle. I thought I would try and make friends with Tombow. I thought I'd better do, because I'd only just made friends with Fast Fuse and they retired it. So I thought I better get using Tombow before they get rid of it and change it. But no, it's here for a long time. So I'm now going to lift up those sides to reach flush with the flaps there to create my box, and just hold it because I have used glue. Okay. I like to create, you can create this in just DSP if you like. I'd rather use a bit of cardstock if I can. It just makes it that little bit more sturdy. Okay, put that one in. And we're going to line it just on the lid. We're not going to use a lot, we're going to line it with a little bit of DSP. And then we're going to do some stamping with the varied vases. I'm going to keep it nice and simple and easy to follow. Okay. So as you can see, that Tombow does dry pretty quickly, to be honest. So there's no reason to not use it on things. I sometimes think, oh, I'll just use, you know, snail, it's quicker. Tombow is stronger. I will say it is stronger. So there's my little box. Don't really matter, I think it shuts that way. So it just flicks inside each other like a little pizza box, okay? And what it does house is, it measures 3 by 3. So you could make little tiny note cards. They'd have to just be shy of 3 by 3 so that they, so that they fit. I am going to put some little tea lights in, which luckily I found in my craft room that had been gifted to me by one of the ladies at my recent team meet, and they just fit in there nice and snug just for little tea lights. So it's a cute little gift. We've got end of term coming, so we're going to be needing teacher gifts. What's simpler? So we know that that's 3 by 3. So I'm going to cut some DSP now, and I'm using the new what's it called, Tranquil Textures. So this is just one of the sheets. I've neglected to bring the whole sheet out, which I should have done, but never mind. So if that's 3 by 3, I'm going to cut this at 2 3/4, 2 7/8. We'll do it 2 7/8. So 2 7/8, so that it just gives us a very tiny, because you'll be able to see the cardstock on the sides, because I'm only decorating the lid. So 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, and this is where I'm starting to make my project up now as I go along. I've not planned past the box. So that's 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. I am going to use snail here. Okay, and that should just fit nicely. And this is the soft sea foam colour, and it goes lovely with macaron. So we've just layered that up on there. So now I'm going to do a bit of stamping. So let me just move a few bits out of the way. I have a much smaller desk space since I moved house, because I split my desk into 2 areas, whereas before I had one massive long desk. So I've got to be a little bit more inventive now. So let's have a think what we're going to do, because I don't know what I'm doing now. This is where, so if that's 2 7/8, I'm going to cut myself a stamping layer. 2 7/8. so now the varied vases are nice dainty little stamps, so my stamping area doesn't have to be huge. So 2 7/8 was there, so I'm going to have it at 2.5, which is a nice even number, and it's going to just give me enough to stamp on, but I'm still going to be able to see that lovely DSP as well. I don't want to hide it, it's pretty. So 2.5 by 2.5, quite simple because we're keeping it square, and that will just fit on my lid like so, and so you can see all of the layers nicely. Happy with that. Right, so I don't know what I'm doing now, so let's have a decide what we're going to do. I may well stamp. Let's have a look. Okay, I think I like this really tall one. Now, is that going to fit on my 2.5 inches? No, it's not, so I'm going to have to use a smaller flower for my vases, or vases. That one fits, that one fits, that one's pretty, and that one fits as well. So we'll have that tall one, and then I'll have, what's that one? Does that one fit? Oh yes, we'll have that. Okay. So, those are my flower choices. And my vases need to be, what vases? I quite like these ones. Okay. So I'm having that one, which is nice and patterned. And I'm going to have that one, which is nice, and that's going to be a solid colour. Right, so those are my vase and my flower choices. So I'll just move the stamp set to one side one moment. Now, what I'm going to do is, I don't know, I'm making it up now. So I'm just going to mount my vases. This is a brilliant stamp set to use with your Stamparatus. I've been far too lazy to get really familiar with mine, if I'm honest. I like quick crafting. I don't want to be sat around faffing with plates, but I'm going to have to get to grips with it and show my customers how to use it effectively, because it is an awesome tool. Right, so let's have a look what colours I've got. I've got Balmy Blue, I've got Grey Granite. I think I might have, I'm not having Coastal Cabana, it'll make me sing. I'm going to have a Mint Macaron and a Balmy, no, I'll have blue for the flowers. Oh, decisions. Okay. I'm not going to worry too much. I'm going to try not to anyway. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to stamp my flowers first so that I can see where my vases go. And I'm going to stamp those in Grey Granite. Hopefully, they're both going to fit on here. So that's one and that's another. Are they going to fit? I think they will. I'll just do one at a time, and then if the second one doesn't fit, we'll blow that idea off. So I'm having this one first. I'm just going to practice stamp because I've not used it before. That's pretty. So that's, I'm going to put that there so that I've got room to do the vase over the top. Oh, how pretty is that? Oh, I'm in love. It's the first time I've stamped it, can you tell? Okay, so I'm going to have Mint Macaron. Okay. I'm going to stamp that over my flower, like so. And then I'm also going to stamp it on, do I have to stamp upside down? Yeah. I need to stamp it upside down to slide the punch in. Good, I think. Let me check, I might have that wrong. Yes. So when you're doing your vases and you want to use your punch, stamp them upside down. Okay. So that's that one, and I'm going to put that on dimensionals now, like so, and like so. Now we want those colouring, so let me just move that ink pad out of the way. I quite like the, where's it gone? I haven't put my stickers on my ink pads. I need to do. This blue one, the Balmy Blue. So let's try Balmy Blue. And I'm going to use, oh here they are, my blenders to colour in that delicate flower. My blend pen. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just put a little bit on my block, on a spare block. Grab a little bit with my blend pen, let me have a look. Yeah. And then I can very gently add colour to that flower. Very subtle colour. I don't want it really garish and bright, I want it nice and soft. And that's really cute, I like that. Okay, I'll bob that away a minute, and now I can get my little varied vase. And I've stamped underneath so that I can judge the space that I've got on this small section. So you don't have to do that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer over the top with the matching vase so that it just, you've got that little 3D bit going on. Right, so let me find my grey granite again. There it is. And I'm going to stamp my second flower. Let me just check. Okay, practice stamp. Now you do my second flower. Oh, I don't know if it's going to fit. I don't think it's going to fit. So I'll have my vases squashed up, won't I? Let me see. This is what you get when you don't plan. Right, so if I have another vase, it doesn't matter if they're overlapping each other, does it? Particularly. Okay. So if I just make sure that that flower fits on there, then it's not going to be a problem. Not at all. And I'm going to use this little vase that got cut out at the same time. It wasn't in my plan, but it's cut out, so I'm going to use it. And what I'll do is I will use the rest of this Balmy Blue on this block, and I can just literally colour that in so that it's the colour I want. Okay, I'll use the rest of that ink up, colour that in, blending it as I go so that it looks like it's kind of going from dark to fade at the top, like so. A bit more. There we go. So that looks like it's going from dark to fade. You know what I mean. And I shall put dimensionals on there as well. But I'm just going to slide it just underneath the first one. Like so. There we go, and now that fits perfect. That looks really nice. So now I want to colour these other flowers. I'm going to do them in soft seafoam, which is the colour of our cardstock. So let me put some of these away before, and remind myself that I really must label my new inks. Put that away. That's not shut right. That's it. So this is soft seafoam. So again, I'm using my block because it's a bit harder. Remember with the old pads, we used to squeeze them to transfer ink on the lid for colouring. These pads are a little bit more difficult for doing that. So get yourself a clear block and just add that instead. Okay. So I'm just going to, I've got a bit of fluff on there. So I'm now just going to just colour that soft seafoam in there. Like so, I've got ink on the edge of there now. What a nana. Never mind. Okay. So sometimes these can take up a little bit of time, but it's worth it because look how pretty that looks. Okay, so I just want something in the middle of there, don't I? Let's have a look. We'll use this one. We'll use the blue. Seeing as it's there in front of us, why not? We'll just add that balmy blue for the centre of those flowers. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, because I've blobbed on the edge, I'm going to make it look like it's part of the plan. I think we'll have, and I've got this ink here on this block, I'm not wasting it. We'll have the balmy blue, and I'm adding it to a sponge. I'm just dabbing it off, and I'm just going to very gently. Oh, what are we going to do? There we go. Just ink the edge of that. You know, if you fall, make it look like it's part of the dance. That's the saying, isn't it? So if you blob ink around the edge of your stamping, make it look like you were meant to. So there we go. So there we go, that's that. Let me move that out of the way before I blob it again. And I can now add this to my box. I'm going to use Tombow. There we go. Bring my box back in. You've probably forgotten about my box. I've been stamping. Add that in the centre there like so. And that's really pretty. And then just for a final touch, what you can do is just add a bit of ribbon. Now I did bring this one. So let me just see if that's going to be a bit wide. This is the new Dotty Tulle. And I did bring it in because it's kind of tulle and kind of see-through, that it doesn't matter if part of your image is kind of a little bit covered up. Don't matter because you can see through it. Okay, there we go. That's pretty. Okay, and we'll tie it in a pretty bow. Oh, dogs are off. Off they go. Yapping. Monkeys. Okay, so, and that makes quite a nice full pretty bow as well because it's tulle. So that is awfully pretty. Spread it out a bit like so, and we are done. Now, sentiment. Do we need a sentiment on there? Let's have a look. What do we have? We have thanks and we have hello. I will add just the thanks because it is going to be, you know, I can use the box. I won't be cheeky and re-gift the tea light, but I can use that box for one of the teachers at school. And because they are awesome with my little girl who, it can be quite challenging, bless her, because she suffers from anxiety. And they're just amazing with her, bless him. Sometimes I go to school and I'm like, oh, I feel sorry for him if she's, you know, in that frame of mind. Bless her heart, she can't help it. Right, so what we're going to have, I think I'll have mint macaron because then it matches the cardstock. And I'm just going to very quickly and very simply do this thanks, and it's absolute criminal that I'm doing it on this big piece of card. I feel like kicking myself, so I am sorry, but I don't have any scrap to hand. It's like blasphemy, stamping on this great big piece of card. I am sorry. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my, this one. Whose name is it Everyday Label? I can't remember. I've forgotten. I'm going to just punch that to about there. Fits just nice, that. Okay. And then if the sentiment is big enough, what I can do is just peek it back through from the side. And if I line it up nicely, it'll just cut me a little banner like that, see? Okay. And it just finishes it off, doesn't it, I think? I want some mini dimensionals for this, I think. Let's see if I can just reach for some. I should have some to hand. Have I only got large ones? Oh, bottom. No, I've only got large ones. We'll have to manage. We'll have to manage. So what I'll do is I'll just do what we used to do before we had mini dimensionals, and I'll cut that one up stick it on there. I'll have to clean my scissors now. Get off. And put that on there. And, you know, if you get yourself a bit more organised than me and do them in batches, you can have teacher gifts in next to no time. And I'm just going to have that just protruding off the edge of there. And that just says thanks. Let's just zoom in so you can have a look. And this tool makes a lovely full pretty bow. I hope you'll give that a try. Cute little box for candles. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.